Simon, we can't hear you if you're talking. Simon, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Testing, testing. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A repeat. Is it okay back there or should we shut that off? We're good? Okay. So again, let's start all over again. Good afternoon. How's everyone doing? Great. Wonderful. Thank you very much. We're at the end of April. We're starting May already, Nick, tomorrow. Very excited. Summer is upon us, even though it's gloomy out there. Thank you again for being part of our team meeting as always. We have a lot of great information to provide you today. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Are you really ready?
Yeah.
All right, I want to see those beautiful smiles like we always do, full of energy like we always are. You know how we do it here at South Bay. So Nat, let's take it away. Our mission, our belief, and our vision to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, and motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their life, best life possible. Our beliefs. When the value of your own company align with your own beliefs, you know you found your professional home. And our vision is to achieve amazing professionals and personal development so that KW South Bay remains the agency of. Give yourselves a round of applause, please, like always. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. We're super grateful to have you as part of this amazing company, but more so an amazing office that we have here. And it's all because of all of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's continue. Next slide, please. All right, well, we have our lunch sponsor. Let's bring in elite growth and inspection professionals. Give them a little applause. How you doing? Christian, this is Christian. Awesome.
I just want to say thank you guys very much for having us. Real quick, I want to tell you guys a little bit about Elite Group. Has anybody heard of Elite Group or used Elite Group?
Yes.
Awesome. So for those of you guys who haven't, Elite Group's been in business for 40 years. Since then, we've done over 600,000 inspections. We do inspections all over Southern California. So Ventura all the way down to San Diego, from the coast all the way out to the desert. We are all over the place. We have 85 inspectors. All of those inspectors are employees. So none of them are subcontracted. They're all background checked, drug tested, so you can be confident with those people on your property. We cover everything from mold, sewer, termite, roof, foundation, pools. We're doing it all. Solar, we just implemented this year, and that new pesky law, the SB 721 law, the balconies and decks. We now inspect those as well.
Pause for a minute.
Yes,
So you
sir.
guys also do those inspections now?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's good to
We
know.
have licensed contractors on staff that can
Fantastic.
make sure that we can do that.
Wonderful.
And again, with the roofs, we have a licensed contractor as well. So a lot of people are having trouble with their insurances right now because of that roof. We can certify that roof for up to 5 years. And that's going to help your client get that insurance.
Well, you guys were at the AOA exhibition, maybe convention center. I took your card. Inspections about at the AOA convention center in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
That's a little bit.
awesome. And yeah, but that's pretty much it. We do it all. We are the one-stop shop, truly. So if you guys, you guys know booking termite one day, pool, sewer, all of it in the same day really helps, and it really helps you guys, get to your next property. So
Beautiful.
yeah, we just want to thank you guys very much for having us again. If you guys have any questions, I left my cards over there. But thank you guys very much for listening and have a great day.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Stick around if you can.
Yeah.
You know, one of the cool things of all of our affiliates is the value that they provide. You know, Elite Home Group has been in existence, as you know, he mentioned 40 years. I use them on all of my inspections. They're very thorough and the reports are spot on, very, very detailed. And it really gives you the perspective in how you negotiate and navigate, those requests of repairs, right? They also, something that he didn't mention, also give you estimate of cost of certain things that need to be repaired, replaced as well. Obviously, for additional cost for that, But peace of mind, when you are representing the buyer and going through the due diligence period, right? That's where we see most of the deals fall apart, right? Is during negotiations of requests for repairs. Our jobs as real estate agents representing the buyer and the seller is to help navigate it because it's a two-way street. Meaning, even if you represent the seller, right, you still need to be able to maneuver that conversation and make it a win-win for all parties, okay? And remember, all properties are sold in as-is condition. Not all properties are going to be brand spanking new. There's going to be issues, right? But it's our job to kind of navigate that transaction and get to the finish line. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so take advantage of all of your affiliates and inspection companies such as Elite Group. Okay, next slide. This is an exciting slide that we want to make sure we're all on the same page. Guess what? Next Thursday, May 8th, it's that day. Who again has been part of Red Day last year or the years in the past? Raise your hand, please. Okay, so we have a lot of new people that are not part of this amazing Red Day that we're going to have this coming Thursday, May 8th. Now, we are still in desperate need of volunteers. We're in desperate need of donations. We're anticipating, and this is not just KW, this is just the participation of people that are coming to this event. We're anticipating over 300 people. Maybe 400 is what Natalie has stated to me. All right, so all hands on deck. We need all of the help. And this is, again, giving back to the community. We basically take over the park area. It's fun, exciting. It's a little bit of exhausting too as well because there's a lot of moving parts with it, right? But we run it very efficient because we've been doing it year after year, right? So, but we need everyone's support. So next slide. We're calling all the volunteers to help with the Red Day because of the extra capacity of people that are coming to this event. But we're also looking for volunteers that are willing to dress up. So if you have a costume or something that you feel comfortable, we'd love to have. Cheyenne used to be the dinosaur. Unfortunately, this year she's not going to be able to do so. So we're looking for people that can dress up for the event. Okay. And if you are willing to, please let us know so that way we can put you on the list and at least we can have an engagement of who is going to be doing what, right? Because we're going to have different stations that are going to be doing different tasks, right? I'm probably going to be part of the flipping of the hot dogs and the burgers on the grill with Andy's Termites. So I'll be doing most of that heavy lifting there. But we're going to have different stations and areas where you're going to be focused. And it kind of is like a conveyor belt, right? The adults will be coming in through the main area of the park, and then we kind of direct them to different sections and areas of the park. So that way they have the experience. And then ultimately they all go loose and wherever they want to go, if it's either face painting, building a toolbox, playing basketball, or just dancing too, so that's part of the awesome part of what we have here. Also, if you're willing to bring any items, we need them no later than May 15. What we need is brownie bites and cookie. May 5th, I'm sorry, Cinco de Mayo. Cookie trays, bulk paper plates, chips of sorts, and all that stuff. Please talk to Natalie if you want to contribute to that, because this will definitely help us, with the event. Any questions? You guys excited?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So who's going to volunteer to be a character this year? Florentine says she will contribute to that. Beautiful. It's going to be fun, and I promise you. Also, I believe the news is going to be the local news is going to be there too as well. So we're going to have local publicity by the local city as well. So we'll make it a great event, and make sure, even though you don't have a official KW Red Day shirt, just bring a red shirt so we can identify, right? Gary, anything you'd like to add to the Red Day event? Because I know you're one of the biggest contributors and advocate to this event.
Yeah, say something.
Awesome.
All right, let's go. Make everybody can see.
And he's already prepared for it.
Purposely, all right. So, just want to make sure everybody capture the essence of what we're doing, right? Red Day is a special day that Keller Williams, donate to the community where they're living, where we do business, right? And we have people coming from, if you do business in every part of South Bay, from Hawthorne to PD. We have people coming, all the schools, yeah, I have a daughter that goes to school, that's why you all see me when I come in the morning, I bring a van, and then my other daughter come and take, I learn my car later on, so I take her to the same school. So, we want you all to just be part of that, have love, come with love that day, come to give love that day. And I promise you, your bucket will be full if you do that, and one thing I love is that when we serve the community we live in, then we have a right to go make money in that community, right? So just come on serve, come and give a lot of love and just be willing to help people around. Okay?
Beautiful. Thank you. All right, so all of you will be there next Thursday. Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue. Next slide, please. All right, we have our guest speaker, Florentine with Sidekick Homes, ADUs. Let's give a warm round of applause, please. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome.
You always
Please.
see you, Simon.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
got the front stage
I
there.
appreciate it. Can you guys hear me in the back? All right, give me it like this if you need me to raise the volume, okay? Okay, very good. So it's great to be here, and I know so many of you some of us have worked together here, some have worked together at KW Beach City, some of us have worked together at KW Palos Verdes. So I've kind of made my round to a number of the market centers. But about 6 years ago, switched gears from real estate and actually came back to my roots in construction and became an ADU builder. And do I have a clicker?
Just next slide.
Okay, let's do
Yeah.
it next. We'll do a next slide. So what I'm here to talk to you guys today about is what are some updates in the ADU landscape. So just by show of hands, who here has had a client who wants to buy a house with an ADU, has a house with an ADU, wants to build an ADU? Is this a topic that is, okay, it's a topic that involves most of you guys in the room. Very good, so we'll do next slide. So our company is we're a full service design build company, and we're basically on a mission to try to help families and local communities solve their own problems, bolster families, bolster communities, and help with the housing shortage. So we like to build ADUs in people's backyards. We call them sidekicks.
Next slide.
Next slide. All right, so just a little bit about me. This is actually my high school senior photo. A lot of people have a picture with their basketball or their Letterman's jackets, but growing up in construction was very much a part of my life. By the time I graduated high school, I had done every aspect of new home building. And so that was a background I grew up. Of course, my dad wanted me to go to college. So it's really been full circle, coming back around, bringing my educational background into my construction roots and coming back and becoming a builder. Next slide. So real quick, what is an ADU? And I just want to share with you, we'll do next slide. I just want to share with you guys what the government legal definition is, because a lot of times people bring things to me that are not ADUs. So an ADU is intended to be housing, not an Airbnb. And it's intended, it has to have four things. It has to have a kitchen, a bathroom, separate sleeping quarters, and a separate entrance. So if it's missing one of those things, it's not an ADU. This is going to be important for one of the legislative updates that we're going to talk about today. So let's do next slide. So actually, let's get through a few. Where can you build them? These are all the places that we've done. Basically, you can build them in any city. So we'll kind of go through that. I think all of you guys probably know by now, you can do a new build, you can convert existing space within a garage, you can convert existing space within a house. and to basically turn one house into two. So there's a lot of different configurations we can do. Let's go to next slide. I want to get into the meat and the potatoes and tell you guys what's new. So if we look at the regulatory landscape for ADUs, there's the state law that regulates ADUs, there's local ADU ordinances, there's local zoning, there's state building code, local building code, fire code, utilities, easements. There's historical preservation, coastal zone, there's a lot of different regulatory bodies that determine what we can or can't do as it relates to ADUs. So we're gonna go to the next slide. What we're here to talk about today is changes in the state law. So the role of the state law is to tell local cities and counties what they can do as it relates to ADUs. And then those local jurisdictions are who get to regulate property owners. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today are some regulations of the state law that tell the local jurisdictions what they have to allow a property owner to be able to do on their property. Okay, so let's look at the next slide. What's new in 2025? We'll do the next slide after that. So here's one of the big things that we're able to do in 2025 is the elimination of uncovered parking. And so the previous law said if we have to demolish a garage or a carport in order to build an ADU, we don't have to replace that parking because there is required parking on residential properties. All right. So you know what? Some of this stuff is actually gonna go on to a next slide. And I mixed some of the verbiage up, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll go back to the last one. I just want to make sure that I get this one. I just noticed some of the verbiage doesn't match, but I'll fix that up before I get slides over to you guys. Anyhow, so this actually just gives us more space that we can build upon. This is really big on multifamily properties where a lot of times there's a really, really big parking lot and people want to be able to build on that parking lot, but in the past, the state law wouldn't have allowed them to give up those spaces. Now, all of a sudden, they can build on a parking lot area on a multifamily property. Okay, let's go to the next slide. All right, so this one is another big one. We can build up to 8 new detached units on a multifamily property. So previously it was only 2. So we cannot build more than the number of units. So if there's only 2 units on the property, we can build 2 additional units. If there's 8 units, we can build up to 8. If there's 20, we can build up to 8. Very good. So this is a property that we looked at for an investor who they were looking at these garages over here on the right. This is a couple years ago. And they wanted to convert all those garages to ADUs. And we said, you know, we're only going to be able to convert 2 units. We'll only be able to convert it into 2 units. What we could do, though, they had 26 units in their complex. We were looking at the tuck under parking. So we did determine that we could build 6 to 8 units of housing in the tuck under parking. We weren't going to do it right here. We were going to do it around the corner where we had parking facing parking, and we're going to get rid of driveway. They didn't have the financing in place to move forward with that project, but it's one that we may come back to at some point in the future. But now that the laws are changed, in addition to the 7 or 8 units in the tuck under parking, we also can get up to 8 units. We could demolish the parking over here without needing to replace it, and they could build units there.
Can they build up on something like this?
So could they build up is a great question. I would have to go back and look at how close they are to what's called a high quality transit corridor.
Right.
And if they're within a half mile of high quality transit corridor, we could go up to potentially 20 feet, which would give us the capacity to go 2 stories on that property.
Got it.
Yeah. So it's just, a lot of times property specific. All right, let's do the next slide. So that's multifamily. So here's the next one, and this is where all my all of these bullet points ended up on the last one. So permitting of unpermitted units. How many of you guys have come across a property or listed a property or sold a property that had unpermitted units on it? This is like very common, right? It's always, what do we do with these unpermitted properties? Well, this is probably the best thing I'm gonna tell you today, okay? There is a law that just passed, went into place in January, that says if a property has an unpermitted unit that was built prior to 2020. Okay, if you can prove it was built prior to 2020. A local jurisdiction has to permit that unit so long as it does not violate a very specific list of health and safety standards. If the property doesn't meet building code, that's okay. If the property doesn't meet local ADU rules, that's okay, as long as it meets these 2 pages of health and safety requirements. So just for context, an ADU you would build today would have to meet about 1,000 pages of building code. Right? But if it was, and what they're trying to do is take the 300,000 some ADUs that are unpermitted and let's get them permitted, right? So now all you have to do is meet a 2-page list of requirement to ensure that it's safe and healthy for somebody to live in. And we've already started taking a look at some of these properties for people. So this is huge for you guys as realtors. In the past, when somebody would have an unpermitted unit on their property and they wanted to get it permitted before they listed, in most cases, I would recommend to the realtor, just get it listed and let the buyer handle it, because you're gonna have to submit plans to the city, you're gonna have to pull permits, you're gonna have to get inspectors and contractors out there, and most of the time, you're gonna gut and redo most of what's there, because it does not meet today's building code. Right, and so in most cases, I would say it's probably not worth it to do all of that before you live. Now, all of a sudden, it might be very worthwhile if it was built into an unpermitted unit and you can prove that it was. It is the onus of the burden of proof does fall upon the homeowner, but if they can prove that it was there prior to 2020, you have an opportunity to get that thing permitted with only 2 pages worth of requirements. Yes.
Will you send information that in our website?
If you want this, give me your card and I will email it to you. But what this is just a copy. You can also look it up on your own. Section 17.920.3 of the Health and Safety Code, California. That's what this is. And so basically, as long as it meets this code, the city cannot prevent them from getting it permitted. The other thing is the city cannot, if they're going through this process and the city comes out to do an inspection and there's things that don't meet this code, they can't cite them for it because they're trying to do the right thing and get it permitted, right? So they can't punish them and they can't cite them for it. Additionally, the homeowner's not going to have to pay any impact fees, connection fees, or capacity charges to the utility companies. So they're really wanting to bring these unpermitted units out of the shadows and get them permitted. Now, the other benefit this is to your clients, even if they're not looking to sell, the benefit is that right now, if you're renting out an unpermitted unit, and let's say that it catches fire, do you think that your insurance is going to cover the damages of that?
No.
No, because you were illegally renting out an unpermitted space. Let's say it catches your main house on fire. Let's say it catches the neighbor's house on fire. Right? You're going to be in big trouble and you probably are going to go to jail. Right? You're probably going to go to jail if somebody gets injured in that fire or God forbid dies. The other thing, and I've seen this because a lot of times people come to us after they get in trouble with their unpermitted units. If somebody's lived in that unpermitted unit for 20 years and they finally realize it's unpermitted, you know, they can go back and sue the owner for all of that rent and get that money back. Oh yeah, because it was never supposed to be rented to begin with. So if you know people that have unpermitted units, now is an amazing time to encourage them to get them permitted. Okay, let's go. We'll do next slide.
Can I have a question in this, please?
Yeah, we'll do a quick Q&A. I'll get through this and then let's skip through in case you missed it in 2024. Let's skip that one. Because I want to not take over your whole meeting. Let's go to the next slide. We'll go to the next slide. These were last year's things that I thought in case you guys didn't know about them. Do you guys know that you can potentially, if the cities can allow you to, sell an ADU separately as a condo? Yeah, if you like this idea, then go join your city council meetings. Okay, let's do the next slide.
Is that where you can have two parcels on the land?
What's that?
You got two parcels on the land?
Yeah, yeah, you could subdivide it essentially if you want, or you could build it out as a condo. This just went into effect this year, plan repeatability. These are all of our ADUs, by the way, all these pictures. So plan repeatability, basically, as of this year, if we've done a set of plans on a property, we can go back to that city and get those plans expedited again for another client. So if you're utilizing plans that have already been used, we actually were hired to do pre-approved plans for 5 different cities. And so our plans are like their pre-approved plans right now. And you can get those approved within 30 days, which is really great. Yeah. And you can also take them into another jurisdiction. So let's say you got plans approved in Hawthorne and you have another property in Torrance and you want to go build that same ADU in Torrance, they have to do an expedited pre-approved plan process with you. So, which is, yeah, like a 30-day approval, which is great. Okay, let's do the next slide. FHA guidelines, this went into place last year, but I just put it in because it's really important and I want to make sure that you guys know this. That ADUs are now a type of improvement that can be financed under mortgages for new construction. And basically you can take 75% of the estimated rental income from that ADU towards your client's debt to income ratio when they're making a purchase of a property that has an ADU. Or 50% of the estimated rental income if they're doing a 2 or 3 pay renovation loan and they're going to build an ADU. So that's really helpful. And then they also use ADU specific appraisal requirements so that the future value appraisal will actually be accurate. Okay, let's do it. Next slide. Okay. So if you guys want, we have a ton of resources for agents, and that's on this next slide. We have a ton of resources for agents where you guys can basically access, when you're helping a client find a property that's amenable to an ADU. When you have a listing and you're wanting to prepare for the appraisal to get the highest appraised value, how do you prepare for that appraisal? What are the local guidelines? I mean, we've got, probably a dozen different tools for realtors. So if you're wanting to check out our realtors only page, feel free. If you want these slides, if you want me to send you this, if there's anything you want me to send to you directly, give me your card at the end of the meeting and I'm happy to get this stuff in your guys' hands. So that you can get out there and support your bias. Yes.
So you can unit on an AD junior in one particular property. Can you build more than AD junior and AD?
Sometimes, yeah, depending on the type of ADU, there's specific types. So sometimes we can do on a single family, sometimes we can do 2 ADUs in a junior ADU. So but it depends on the type. It depends on how big, detached, attached, conversion, depends on exactly what we're doing. But yeah, sometimes we can get multiple units on a single family. Yes.
Tiny home and ADU.
Technically,
That was the question?
what is the difference between a tiny home and an ADU?
Got it.
So typically, the term tiny home is meant for a tiny home on wheels. And it is regulated by the DMV and it's not considered real property, it's considered personal property. So that would be the difference. Tiny homes, by the way, are legal as an ADU in the city of Los Angeles. So you can legally call that tiny home an ADU.
So it's prefabricated, they just move it from one place and put it there and you're already done.
Yeah, and there actually are a couple manufacturers that we're talking to right now that have bring it in on a chassis on wheels, but it's built not to DMV standards, but to California building code standards. So what we're looking to do is, we're breaking ground next week out in Altadena. What we're looking to do with these tiny homes on wheels is to Get people an ADU, people that had fire on their property and they want to get back on their property as quick as possible. We're looking at bringing in a tiny home on wheels, because we only have to connect that to an RV hookup. We don't have to bring all the utilities in. Get them on their site as quick as we can while we're rebuilding the house. Then we can always go set that on a property, connect it to the utilities. We can do all that later. And so there are a couple manufacturers that are basically creating like a convertible home that could do both. Yeah. Be good. I think there was one, can I take one more question?
Sure.
One more person, okay.
Yeah, I was asking about if the owner found out there is a room in the house without permit, but he bought the house as is,
Are you saying after escrow?
after everything.
After escrow, they
And the
found out
fire.
there was an unpermitted room in the house. I'm gonna refer that to your broker, because that sounds like a legal transaction question.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Buys a property as is.
Yeah.
And after the fact, they find out that there was an unpermitted room on that property.
Unpermit, so definitely there's recourses if it's after the fact, right? Let's just say they buy the property, the seller never divulged or disclosed that there was an unpermitted room, right? And then we find out. The best policy would always be is to, speak with an attorney and get legal advice when it comes to this, because it's material fact that can jeopardize the value and desirability in the future, right? What if that buyer now decides to sell and it's technically a 3-bedroom instead of what they bought a 4-bedroom? So there may be some recourses with that. Well, yeah, I mean, even if you bought it as is, part of the process as a seller is to do the fiduciary duty of divulging and disclosing. Even if the house is about to fall down, as long as they disclose it, that clears. Because now what happens, because all properties are sold in as is condition, right? The buyer finds out later that the seller did not divulge that information. I believe they have recourses to go after the seller. I don't know the statutory limitations to that. I think it's at the moment that you find out is when it kind of starts the trigger. So I don't know, Steve, is it 5-7 years? I don't know.
I really don't know as
Yeah.
well. I believe it's 5 years.
Yeah, that's where you want to speak with an attorney that knows real estate law. Yeah. So
Which one better, is the detached to the home, detached or attached to the home? Which ideal better?
It depends. It depends on what the goals are of the property owner. So the question, I don't know if you guys heard in the back, is what's better, attached or detached? It depends on the property, it depends on how the unit's gonna be built, it depends on the budget of the people. I know if it's detached, in most cases, it's gonna require solar. If it's attached, it will not. Some of our detached, if it's small enough and it depends on the climate zone, we can get the Title 24 to work without solar. And we like solar, but sometimes it throws people over the budget. That's why I say it depends on the person's situation and their property and what they're trying to create. Yeah, but we help people strategize that, right? Like when we start, we do an initial feasibility where we really try to understand what are they trying to achieve with this ADU. We do all of the zoning research for them. We look at cash flow calculators, like we make sure, is this gonna make sense? Is it gonna do what you want it to do? Is it within the budget that you have, right? Like, let's do some feasibility before we start spending thousands of dollars on ADU design or build. Yeah.
Excuse me, can you explain the solar thing between detached and attached?
Yeah, so solar is a building code requirement, so any new home you build has to basically have solar. So there's an exemption though for ADUs that are a conversion or are attached to the main house or even attached to a detached garage. So sometimes, like, we've had clients that strategically, because of their budget limitations, will want to attach the ADU to a garage so that they don't take on the extra expense of the solar. Sometimes we can also keep the ADU under a certain size and the Title 24 energy code calculations will trigger a need for solar on that property. Yeah.
What's the size?
Yes. But
What's
that's,
the size?
there's not like an exact size, it depends on all these calculations that have to do with the climate zone that the property's in and the direction it faces and where the windows are and what type of water heater we're putting in and HVAC and a whole bunch of the type of insulation. It depends, it's like a whole calculation. But we work with our Title 24 energy consultants to help us make that happen if that's important to the client.
These are
Yeah.
very good questions, and I know Florentine is going to be here for a while. If you have any additional questions, you can always relay the information to her as well. So beautiful. Thank you, Florentine. Information. Good information, and this is a good incentive to give your clients who are thinking of cash flow, right? Additional dwelling for that renter that's looking for that extra space or cash flow as well. So it's good stuff. And Florentine has been doing this for a very long time and just provides immense value into understanding the ins and outs, the permits, the process, and obviously the financial responsibility with that too as well. Okay, next slide. Listing pitches buyer needs. I know Katrina, you wanted to pitch something. Come up here. Awesome.
My new this is a new lease that is a brand new ADU built in Long Beach in the Bixby area. Check it out. I mean, this is what we've been to this place. So it's going on the market today. And this is this engineer area of Long Beach, which is the Bixby area. We have any clients that
Good
are
enough.
interested.
Here, I'll pass the flyers for you.
So
You
this
you
is-
pitch it.
So here's where I need your help.
That's it.
This is where I need your help. So this is a brand new construction. It has a loft and it does not have a legal bedroom. So my concern with my client is, hey, we're gonna get a lot of people turned off because when they do the search for a bedroom, it's not gonna come up because it's legally 0 bedrooms. As Simon popped in my head the other day. So we're going back and forth of where we're gonna list it as far as price, since it does not have a legal bedroom, but we have a beautiful loft. And the way that you get to the loft is by one of those attic pull down ladders. You ever go to Big Bear and you have to like sleep on top of the loft and you gotta like try to, that's gonna turn a lot of people off, like there's gonna be age restrictions, older people may not wanna do that. So I wanna list it for $2,200 per month. The comps are there. What do you guys think? Is there any suggestions on how we can market a property that has a ladder pull down to access the lot? Any suggestions? We're open for it. I'll be here in my office all day today. You can call, you can email, you can let me know. And if you would like to hold it open this weekend, it shows fantastically because it is a new construction. And it's separated from the main unit. So this girl did everything to this unit. So if you have open house want, please give me a call. You're welcome to host it open. I think we have one agent from Coastal who's gonna have it open. That's his little area, his niche. Get all the engineers and sell them all properly later. So, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Katrina. Anyone else? Coming soon, new listings, buyer needs. Joanna, yes.
I have a listing in Redondo Beach. It is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath condo, but it does have a loft that is big enough to be a 3rd bedroom. It's got windows on that slide, and it also has a walk-in closet too as well upstairs. So, and I think the loft dimensions are like, I want to say 13 by 14, so it's actually a pretty big room upstairs. And I'm having it open this weekend, Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4, and brokers opens tomorrow from 12 to 2. So if you're hungry, come by the brokers open. And what else? It's listed for $1,495,000. So, and just under 2,000 square feet. Oh, partial ocean views from all 3 balconies as well. So, 1 block from the beach.
Where area?
On Catalina and Avenue C, right on the corner. So.
Awesome.
$1,495,000.
Yeah, how many square feet?
Just under 2,000, 1967.
3 bedrooms?
It's 2.5 block. Yeah, just
Awesome. Thank you, Joanna. Anyone else? Yes,
I have a nice house in South Shore.
Yes.
It's about 1,500 square feet, has a pool of turnkey. Went on the market yesterday, $6,500 a month for a lease, two-car garage on a cul-de-sac on Roballo, 2414 Roballo in South Shores. Anybody looking for a house, or this is a pretty clean house? And it partially has a partial ocean view too, and a pool.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. Rosie. And then Farah.
Have a single family home, just put on the market over the weekend. It's a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom. It's in LA, but it's like next to Gardena. And that I listed for $640,000. I put it on the market like Saturday. I went to open house on Sunday and I'm like, where is the heater? So I called the seller. He's like, oh, I forgot to tell you. So anyway, so we are in the process of having a heater probably installed before we close the escrow. So I just wanted to let you know. And then I have
Do you have a
a
garage?
yes, have a garage, yeah.
Private garage or two-car or one-car?
Uh,
One-car, right?
yeah, it's locked, so I haven't seen it, but I'm assuming that it's 2-car garage.
Okay.
So there needs to
How
be,
many body space?
I don't know, but there needs to be the key to another country, so I'm waiting for it to come back to give me that. So it was pretty interesting. But anyway, and then I have a lease, 2 leases in Gardena. One is in Denver, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 3,800, and I have another one in Gardena, 1134, 158, and that's gonna be 2,750. And I have a lease on Long Beach, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and that's 2,600. So let me know. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Rosie. Farah, speak up, please.
Sorry,
Speak up.
real estate coming in the middle of May, asking price 1,725,000, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, completely redone. And is a great, property, really, really.
Where is it?
Where's it at?
905014 Torrance.
Where? Okay.
Awesome. Anyone else? Yes, Brett.
I have
It was
a
a-
duplex at 239 West 93rd Street, zip code 9003. It'll be delivered totally vacant. It's a 2 bedroom, 1 bath in the front unit with a service porch and an additional service porch. And the back unit is a detached unit, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Starting price is $645. And it is a probate with full authority. Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you, Fred. Who else? Jim.
I still have that, the price went from 5.5 to 3.7 million starting bid on 2127 Olson Road, 50 acres with a 4,500 square foot house. It's going to bid May 26th. It's sealed bid. You could go on to the MLS and the supplements will give you the bidding forms and everything else. This is a very, very good deal. The judge put it down to 3.77 as a starting bid for a house that's probably worth around 5 million. So
Where?
it's in Thousand Oaks, just south of Ronald Reagan Library. It's on it's at a private 214 acre parcel, and he split it and sold her 50 acres. So it's only 2 owners on the 50 acres, very, very private. Has a 17 acre avocado ranch with a 150,000 gallon water tank up on top of the hill. And a beautiful 4,500 square foot Spanish house, 5 bedrooms, all en suites. So they all have their bedrooms and bathrooms and closets.
Very good.
If you know anybody that's looking for a nice home with a avocado orchard, it's gonna be auctioned off on May 26th.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you. Yes, Joanna, and then Eric.
Actually, I do have, if anybody has anything in Garden Grove, I do have a client looking for that. So if anything in Garden Grove, it's ready to go. She's already sold her previous property.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Eric.
I still have 10 vacant lots in City Terrace, 90063 East LA. We're dropping the price on all of them to like 100,000 each. They're all around 5,000 square feet. Seller financing. Then I got a commercial building.
look funny, cause me can look funny with
Go ahead. Awesome. Anyone else? Okay, let's continue. Next slide. All right, Chris Rivera giving us some updates on mortgages. Let's get of applause. How you doing, Chris?
Good, good.
What's the latest?
The sky's not falling. How's that? Leave that one. Rates are actually kind of slid a little bit. It's great. I mean, I know beginning of this month was so chaotic, and for the first 2 weeks, we saw huge market swings both directions. It was really hard for us to gauge what was happening. The rates kind of skyrocketed high. We'd seen a low of about 6% at the beginning of April, and they jumped all the way up to like 7.3, like that within 2 weeks, right? You guys remember all that? Well, it's kind of slid down now, which is kind of nice. We do anticipate some more volatility in the next month or two, once they kind of get back into the whole tariff thing. But all I can do is report about what's today. Rates have slid down to about 7 to 7%, depending on your FICO score and the loan program. So we're still at good levels. We're still at 7 or below. Government loans are just below 6%. They're about 5.875. So rates are at good territories. But I wanted to share with you something, a success story. And finally, I've been pitching this for the last couple of months. Ro, can you go to the next slide? You guys remember telling you about the down payment assistance program? Well, we just got into our first estimate. And it was just slightly under $1 million. It's a first-time home buyer, but wouldn't qualify for any program out there. They made well over $240,000 a month. And there's no program out there that would allow them to get into the program. This program has no income limits. It's 100% financing. And it's just a great program. We go off the FHA guidelines. And again, they don't need to be a first-time home buyer but they can. But we're just going to do normal FHA financing. Ro, can you go to the next slide? So this client who already lived in the area, this is in North Florence, they were paying just slightly under $4,500 a month in rent. They made good cash, but they had 2 kids. They couldn't save. You guys know the story. You guys talk to your buyers all the time, and they can't do anything. And every time they would talk to a lender, they were like, great credit. You guys qualify very well. You got good job stability, but I'm sorry, you just make too much money. And that's a hard conversation to have with the client, to tell them you can't get into a down payment assistance program because they are legitimate qualified borrowers, but they just make too much cash, right? Or income. So I wanted to show you what the payment looks like. So the total payment on this, it is a repayable. So they do 100% financing. Basically what they're doing is the first and the second. That's really what's happening, right? So there's a first trustee payment and a second trustee payment. But you can see that the payment's $8,800, which to them wasn't that much, because again, they made close to 20. It was a little about 22,000 a month income, so they can qualify for this. But the thing is, when I showed them what the tax benefits were, or what they were paying in rent, it made total sense for them to move forward. So I just wanted to show you that it's happening. People are getting it out on the streets. That there is 100% financing available for non-first-time home buyers. And again, there's no income limit. So I just wanted to pitch it because I've done it already 2 meetings and we finally got one in escrow. So hopefully I'll come back here in about 30 days and tell you we closed and we had a successful closing. So other than that, I'm going to leave it up to questions. Any questions anyone has out there? What's that?
Interest rate on the second.
It's 9.9% on the second. It's a 30 due in 10. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can do a 10-year fix if you want to, and that's 2% above the note rate, or they can opt to take a 30-year term, but it's due and payable in 10. Because they realize that really it's just a stepping stone to get into the property. Rates will go down, values will go higher, and they're going to refinance into just a normal 95% loan somewhere in the future, right? All of which I covered with the client as well. Good question. Any other questions?
Your PMI on that also?
Yes, there is a PMI, right? But it's an FHA loan, so it's MIP. But it is governed by the government. Right. Any other questions? All right, well, that's it, guys.
Awesome. Thank you. Always great to hear from our lenders, right? we're gonna skip broker updates. I will have our broker update next team meeting, which will be next Wednesday. So let's go to the next slide. Just for sake of time, because we're cutting it close. All right, so upcoming events that we have lined up. Producers Club with Mr. and Mrs. Philman. This is they're awesome, great energy. They're out of the coastal office in Long Beach. So Hallie is going to be spearheading that conversation this Friday, 8 o'clock to 8:30. So please make sure to jump on that call. Next slide. As always, our real estate contract class, understanding the contract fundamentals, we're going to dive deep. Did you know, were you aware that there's over 300 different forms on zip forms? 300, okay? Yeah, some of us do, some of us don't. I'm glad that the South Bay office knows that there's 300 plus. But yes, we're going to dive deep into conversations, how to maneuver and understanding. And there's also another criteria of letters that you can utilize as part of the process as well. So please come on Zoom and in person here at the office this Friday, 10:30 to 11:30. Next slide. All right, this one is part of the region, Big Business and Bigger Live. Wendy Papazon and Amber Was at the Glendale Country Club. It is at a cost. That'll be May 7th at Chevy's Chase Country Club. So if you're interested, please scan for your tickets and enjoy these amazing leaders in our industry, providing you with some value in your real estate career. So if you want to take a photo of this, otherwise we can always send out the emails with the information as well. Okay, next slide. All right, Brandon Lauder, giving you with a certified investor agent specialist. Who's taking advantage of his classes? Yeah, I know a lot of you have great information, great content. And if you really want to gear into multifamily investments and how to explain that to potential investors, I would take full advantage. It's been pushed to May 12th, 13th, and the 14th and 15th. It's a 3-hour per day segment. And it just provides you with some insights in how to maneuver the conversations and, cap rates, return on your investments, good cash flow. This is the class and the designation that you truly should have as part of your arsenal of tools as a real estate professional. So if you want to take full advantage, please sign up. The QR code is there. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out. He has an office here in the corner that you can speak with him or Tammy as well to give you some insights to the class. Next slide. Headshot Day, Thursday, May 15. If you're interested, he will be here. Michael will be providing you with professional images. That way you showcase on your social media, your websites, your business cards, and your marketing as well. Next slide. And then my NHD will be having my Has Check. This will be Thursday, June 5th, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Updates, fire zone change to the NHD report. And that'll be hosted by Jose Lopez as well. He was our bunny for Easter last couple of weeks. So great guy, great information to understand the ins and outs of the NHD reports as well. Okay, continue. Let's go. Next slide. And that concludes our team meeting. Awesome. Thanks, everyone.